So if you're an influencer or a coach and you want to write a book, you want to have online courses, you want to be able to, speak on stage, you want to create a coaching program that not only impacts the world and changes lives, it also makes you money. If you want that, then you're definitely going to want to have your signature program. It's your specific step-by-step process that you could sell that delivers transformation. And I'm going to show you how to create your very own signature program in 7 simple steps. Like Tony Robbins, he has his signature coaching programs and seminars. Like Marie Forleo with her signature B School. So I've been a coach for 15 years, and these are all of my signature coaching programs, my signature seminars and workshops. So let's make yours right now. So it's vital that you have your very own signature program because people pay for systems. They pay for toolkits, step-by-step guides, formulas, done-for-you kits. Now remember this, when you are creating your program, imposter syndrome is a real thing. You might be thinking, oh God, like who am I to create this program? They're gonna think that I'm a fake, like I'm a charlatan. Maybe I need like 4 more certifications to start this thing. Forget about that, right? You don't need any of that. So this is a little weird. Look into my eyes as I say this, okay? There is somebody who is sitting at home right now or at work, and they are desperate for what you have to offer. And they will only understand your point of view. They're only going to understand your message when you say it, the way that you say it, the way that you perceive the world, and they will click for them in a very specific way. And they won't get it from Tony Robbins. They won't understand it from Mel Robbins or Brendan Burchard or Rachel Hollis or any of those people. They will only understand it in here and in here when you deliver it. So you have to decide and you have to say that I am the one. I am the one to deliver this message. Nobody else can deliver it like me. It is not about you anymore. It's about them, okay? So step number 1 is to create the shell. Like, what do I mean when I say create the shell? The plan isn't to create the program itself yet. The plan is just to create the shell of the program, the outline, first. The old way is that you build it, right? And then you sell it. This is the old way. Now it's the other way around. You sell it first and then you build it second. Wow. Now I'm a huge Tesla fan and I'm a huge SpaceX fan. I'm a fanatic about it. I love it. So the very first time that Elon showed investors the Tesla at a car show, he only had the shell of a car on a rotating platform. You see, it wasn't ready yet, but he knew if he had the illusion of the car, that people would create buy-in and then in turn start investing in his company. And the funny thing is if somebody would have leaned on the car, it would have collapsed. And when they saw the shell of the car, people were taking pictures and it was like, wow, look at that thing. It felt real to them. So they started throwing down their money in droves, and now Elon actually had the money to actually build the car. Does that make sense? So the plan actually worked. He had a shell, he created a belief, and people were willing to invest. And that's exactly what we're going to do with your program. We're going to sell your program first, and then we're going to build it second. So how do we build the shell of this program, right? Now you're ready for step number 2, which is create the steps. When people buy your program, they're only looking for one thing, and that's transformation. And all you're selling when you're selling your program is a promise to take them from their before state, their current situation, to an after state, which is their dream come true outcome. So let me ask you a question. Everybody has their own unique way of doing something, right? So if you were to ask 10 people in the world at random how to do 10 different things, each person would have their own way of doing it. You'd look at all of them and some of them might be similar, but they're all gonna be uniquely different. I just want to remind you that this is your freaking program for a reason. Give them how you would personally do it. So let's just say that it takes 7 steps to take somebody from their before state to their after state. Now I've discovered that it typically takes in programs and signature processes anywhere between 4 to 7 steps. Anything less than 4, it's not necessarily perceived as valuable to your customer. And anything more than 7 is considered to be just a little too much. Now here's the deal. The goal of each of these steps is to deliver a specific and measurable outcome, a complete result in each step. Here's what I mean. So say that you're a fitness coach and it takes 7 steps to take somebody from fat and fantastic to fit and fabulous, right? So what are these steps? Any of the tools that you think they may need. Lessons they need to know, resources they need to have, skills they need to master, changes in their mindset and psychology in order to take them one step closer to their dream state. So step 1 could be goal setting, envision your ideal body. Step 2 could be weightlifting routine to sculpt your muscles. Step 3 could be a diet plan to boost your metabolism. Step 4 could be cardio program to melt the fat. Say you're a mindfulness and a spirituality coach, right? It could be 7 steps to take you from anxious and afraid to joyful and alive, or whatever. Step 1 could be create a life vision. Step 2 could be clear your mind with meditation. Step 3 could be yoga routines for a joyful life. I don't know, right? You put whatever you want in there. So here's one of my signature programs that I call the Influencer Profit System. Now the outcome of this is to give you more clients than you know what to do with and to give you massive attention online. Step 1 is how to get coaching clients online. Step 2 is how to actually get coaching clients to sign up. Step 3 is how to build a profitable coaching business. And step 4 is how to create your plan and to pull it all together. This is a free program, so you can go into a link below or it's in my bio and you can click and you can get this entire training, including videos and workbooks for free. This is one of many signature programs that I have. So don't worry about creating like the perfect program. This is just your first program. Make sense? So you might be thinking, okay, Peter, like I get it, but still like I don't know what steps to include in my program, right? Perfect. Okay, perfect. Now we're at one of my very favorite steps. This is step number 3, ethically borrow. So if you're stumped, like you don't have any ideas or inspiration on how to create your business, your program, even your content, then listen to David Bowie, who says, "The only art that I'll ever study is stuff that I can steal from." Picasso said, "Good artists copy, great artists steal." Steve Jobs said, "We've always been shameless about stealing great ideas." But here's the catch. Okay, there's a catch. If you steal from one artist, then it's plagiarism. But if you steal from many artists, it's research.
Thank you.
We're all standing on the shoulders of giants, aren't we? The idea is to get all of the things that you love, all of the ideas, all of the books, all of the lessons and skills that you've ever learned that really inspired you, and you put it and package it all together for your program. The late, great Kobe Bryant, he said it like this: "I've stolen all of these moves from all of these great players. I just try to do them proud. It's all in the name of the game, and it's a lot bigger than me." And I actually stole that Kobe Bryant quote from a book that I love. It's a New York Times bestseller, and it's called Steal Like an Artist. So let me show you how to do this scientifically with a method that I call the borrow and swipe method. Here's the deal. Go to what is already proven and successful. You don't want to reinvent the wheel. So let me show you how to do it. Okay, so here's what you can do. Go to udemy.com, which is a platform that has thousands of different courses from thousands of different people, and you can go to the course that you're trying to create. Like I created a confidence course one time, okay? So I'm just gonna go unshakable confidence, right? And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the course and I'm gonna see what they learn, right? I'm gonna see the tools. It says, live free from needing other people's approval. That's one step. Overcome social anxiety and build a strong social confidence. That's another step that I can include. And I do that with a bunch of different courses. Another thing that I like to do is I go to YouTube, right? I'm at Brendan Burchard's site. So the cool thing is that YouTube will categorize all of the hit winners, right? You see this popular uploads? So look at this, 4.4 million views, 3.5 million views. How to use your mind to overcome fear. Perfect, I'll include that as a step. How to reprogram your mind. Perfect. How to stay focused. Look at that, perfect. It's dividing it from all of the less popular posts that he's had, right? The 6 keys to motivation, right? It's categorizing all of these things for you, proven winners that you can include in your program. Here's another thing that you can do. You can go to all of your books. You can go to your bookshelf and start pulling out all the books that are related to the program you're trying to create. You can skim through it. You can look through the chapters. You can see, okay, wow, that's really cool. And then what you can do is you can write it on, a whiteboard or a paper, and you can start categorizing and putting all of these ideas together. Now you have an idea of some of the steps that you want or you could possibly include in your program. Now you're ready for step number 4, which is to name it. Naming your program, like naming a kid, right, gives it legitimacy. It's like, oh, it's like an actual thing. It increases the trust factor. Like here's an example, Dave Ramsey's coaching program, The Total Money Makeover, or Tony Robbins' Create Lasting Change. You know, we mentioned Marie Forleo's B School. Now here's the deal. You want to focus on like the thing that actually gives the result. You don't want to focus on the way that you get the result, right? Like this one, Abs of Steel from the 80s. My mom used to have this like little VHS tape, and as like a little kid, I would do this program.
Challenge yourself. One more.
It was called Abs of Steel. They didn't call it 10,000 sit-ups, right? Because that's actually what it was. Don't do that. Focus on the result and the outcome. Don't focus on the way to get there. Step number 5, slap an e-cover on it. Now, what's an e-cover? Let me show you. It's a 3-dimensional representation of your program. Remember, your program, your digital program or your course or whatever, it's not tangible. People can't see it. But we, our eyes, our brain, our human brain wants to see something. It makes it real, right? Like when Elon Musk created the shell of the Tesla. Now look at this. This is from my products page. You'll see like this is an e-cover, right? This right here is also an e-cover. I don't have all of those specific boxes and workbooks. It's all digital, but it makes you go, oh, dang, okay, great. This is also an e-cover from one of my very first products and on, right? It's a 3-dimensional representation of your program. And here's the cool part, right? You can go to Fiverr.com with 2 R's. You type in e-cover in the search, right? And this is what pops up. Look at this. All of these e-covers can be created for like $5, $5, $10. It's incredible. It is so cheap, but it adds so much value to your program. Number 6, sell it and spread it, like Steve Jobs. So when Steve Jobs had an idea to sell, or if he had a product that he wanted the world to know about, he didn't actually sell it, right? He did something else. In the early 80s, when he was developing the first Mac and he had the Macintosh development team, it was like this small group of people said something about Steve. They said he had a superpower, and his superpower is what they call the reality distortion field. So if you were in his presence, he would actually transform and shift your perception on what you thought was impossible. And the way that he did that is that he instilled inspiration. He got them to see the bigger picture. They were part of something greater than a computer. As his biographer, Walter Isaacson, said, he got them to believe that they were building a company that would invent the future. When I sell my coaching products, right? If I have my clients right now coaching system that I sell, I don't say, hey, this is just going to get you more clients. Like, how is it going to feel that you get to spread your message and change the world and also get good money and to be able to design and create and build the life of your dreams? That's what I'm selling. I'm creating excitement about my program, not whether or not I can sell a feature from my program. Does that make sense? Create excitement and connect your program to something much bigger. And finally, the last step is we build it. So after you created your shell, after you named the steps, after you decided what you're going to put into it, after you slapped on an e-cover and you sold it to somebody, they said, okay, yeah, I like your program. Let me see what happens. Now it's actually time to build it. So that's exactly what I did. Do you see this? This was actually my very first signature program. I was a brand new coach. I never had a program before, right? I learned this concept of, you sell it, then you build it. And I knew that if somebody hired me as a coach, I would have 90 days, because I had a 90-day program, to be able to deliver step by step by step. And as long as I was 1 week ahead of them, I can create during the week and deliver in the very next week. I can get feedback on how they handled and saw and experienced my last step, so now I can modify and change the step after that. Does that make sense? And so I came and I was talking to this woman. She's like, wow, it sounds like you have an interesting program. Can you tell me about it? And we were having coffee and I was like, oh my God, this is the greatest program ever. It's going to help you create confidence, because this was my Conquer Any Fear movement. So this is my Conquer Any Fear steps to mastery. And I said, every single week you're going to be delivering, you're going to be getting like this transformation. All the fears and the anxieties you had are going to start slowly turning into confidence. Every single relationship that you have is going to be transformed. You're going to have confidence now to put your business out into the world powerfully. And by the end of it, she was like, oh my God, yes, I want to sign up. And I'm like, great. So I took her check and I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? I just had this e-cover, right? But I knew that once she signed up, I had a whole week to prepare the next lesson. And that's exactly what happened. So week after week, we would meet on the phone and I would be one step ahead of her, right? And I would say, how did you enjoy last week's lesson? And she was like, oh, this is what I got out of it. I'm like, okay, I wrote that down. And then I modified the next lesson and the next lesson, next lesson. And then after 90 days, I had a whole coaching program built out. And she was like, oh my God, I had all this transformation. Thank you so much. It was the greatest program. And I'm like, fantastic. And I'm like, oh, it's like, oh my God, that was really inspiring, right? Now I had a full coaching program that was created for the next person, and so on and so on. Does that make sense? Doesn't that make it easy? Doesn't that take the pressure off? You don't have to create this thing that somebody may not even buy. You sell it first, then you create it. So in review, you create your shell, you create the steps, you ethically borrow, you name it, you slap an e-cover on it, you spread it and sell it, you create excitement, and then finally, you build it. Now remember, there's somebody out there who desperately needs your program. So don't delay, take action and start making it now. So if you want weekly tips and tools and strategies on how to build your influencer and coaching movement, there's a link below or a button below or in the bio. So go ahead and sign up today and start getting these action plans and these strategies immediately. My name is Peter Feza, and remember to spread your message and change the world. I'll see you next time.